Craig, I'm Cord McCoy, wrapping up our time here in Music City with the PBR. Cord, Texas was perfect this weekend.
Oh, you see very few perfect games, but the Texas team has put it together a couple times. They lead off with Brady getting them road, but it takes all five to get it done, all the way down to Zeke, and he puts a big bow on it right there.
8 times in league history, they've done it 3 times. Not 1, but 2 walk-off wins for Nashville.
Yeah, you said it twice. Cody Jesus Saturday night, I mean, that situation, once in a lifetime, he turns around again on Sunday. He can do it again with a big 88-point score, and that's what they needed for a walk-off in Nashville, another win.
And how about Austin? They've now won 6 in a row.
Yeah, 6 in a row and on a roll coming up. Their home event coming up next weekend. Dalton Castle has been stepping up in that closing situation and shining.
Glad you mentioned the home event, because next week we are back on the CW on Saturday night from Austin, Texas for Gambler Days.
The stadium is set for our men's final here at the Manhattan Beach Open. It's the granddaddy of them all, and it's a 1 versus 4 battle. A chance to see Phil Dalhausser. What has he not accomplished at this point other than finding and tying that of Crabb on the Manhattan Beach Pier? Looking for his 8th title here. Trevor Crabb is partner 4 to his name, as you see the bracket now on screen. Budinger and Evans faced off against Schulk and Shaw in the semifinal. It was a back-to-back battle when Crabb and Dalhausser faced off against Crabb and Sander. Another 3-set victory to get into this final.
Yeah, 2 phenomenal semifinals we got to witness, Cam.
Cameron Irwin alongside Rich Lamborn, happy to take you through after we have already crowned the women's champion, Taryn Brasher and Kristen Nuss. But here we go, a look to the GOAT, Phil Dalhausser, over 100 career victories, 62 of those titles right here in the AVP. But on the other side, it's Chase Budinger, Miles Evans. They are looking to cement their legacy on the pier with their first championship here in Manhattan Beach. The product of Santa Barbara, Miles Evans and Chase Budinger recently minted as Olympians this past summer in 2024. It was a last-minute effort to find their way in, and they have carried that momentum into the 2025 season. They play with a chip on their shoulder, but this year it's all about confidence, momentum, having the target on their back.
Yeah, it is interesting how things shift, right? They really had to grind, battling it out with Trevor Crabb, as a matter of fact, and Theo Brunner fighting for that 2nd spot behind Miles Partain and Andy Benish to represent the United States, and they were able to come out triumphant there and earn that spot. But now, as you mentioned, as a result of that success, they have a target on their back. They have higher expectations of themselves and from everybody else, and they are no pushover.
Miles Evans is the defender in this duo, stands at 6'4". That's a pretty significant height for a defender, even on the men's side. Played indoor volleyball, made the switch out of high school into the collegiate ranks, and decided, hey, it's time to move on to beach volleyball, become a pro. And this guy, a little different journey. Many of you know him, many of you love him. This is Chase Budinger, the longtime NBA star. Found his roots once more, back to the beach and back to the sport that taught him the game. 6'7", 37 years old, out of Hermosa Beach. He's had a chance to be in a multitude of finals, come away with significant victories, but this one might be the biggest yet if he can pull it off against Trevor Crabb and Phil Dalhausser. You got it highlighted on the screen. 7 total. Karch Karai, the legacy he has left to his 8 total titles. He's a 4-time Olympian and a gold medalist at that. How big is this moment for Phil and Trevor?
Well, I mean, it's huge what's at stake here. You mentioned earlier the kind of bet that Trevor has with the Hav, the great legend of the game that has 5 titles, and he's trying to match that here. But Phil also trying to tie the all-time record in 8 Manhattan Beach Open titles. It is astounding to think that they have 11 between them. We're talking about Miles and Chase trying to get there first, and there might be no more difficult team to have to square off against than Trevor and Phil, with so much experience here on these sands.
In his final year in the AVP, Phil Dalhausser finds himself right back in the title match for the Manhattan Beach Open at 45 years old and 6'9". No one has done it quite like this man. And the South Bay recognizes it. We talk about how iconic it is to play here at the Manhattan Beach Open. Well, here's Miles Evans' thoughts on what the MBO represents.
This tournament is the Mecca. It's like this is where beach volleyball kind of started. So, you know, to put your name on the pier is one of the biggest dreams of mine and all these other players. And I think you get the most respect from everybody. So that's one of the biggest reasons why it's so nice to play here. And everyone just appreciates volleyball here. So it's such a beautiful place to play.
He does make a good point. It's a well-educated audience.
Yeah, that somehow matters, right? When everyone kind of can recognize and understand what you're doing out on the sand at a little bit of a higher level, it feels better as a pro athlete.
Trevor Crabb finds his target early. That's Miles Evans who has the exclamation mark to start this thing off.
Fortunately, there is zero chippiness at all between these two teams, so it should be a completely smooth and non-emotional battle here, Cam.
Yeah, no, not whatsoever.
Followed the AVP. There's been a few moments between Chase and Trevor.
I think 40 million views would say otherwise.
Yeah.
Joust by the two big men up at the net. Good vision.
And good stuff early. In the semifinal, we talked a little bit about Chase being the leader of this squad, and where he goes, the rest of the team follows. So he's going to have to be big for his squad in this final. He's been so good throughout this tournament. In the quarterfinal on the winner's bracket side, it was the Chase Budinger show, and what that does is kind of create a high tide that lifts everybody else around him, namely Miles Evans.
Miles Evans would agree with you, calling Chase just a true professional in a game as he seals the net. The first block for Seabud. Monster block in the background, and here is Kevin Burnett.
Thanks, Cam. Talking to both teams before this started in terms of game plan, both sets were serving oriented. For Phil and Trevor, it was, hey, we want to serve tough and not allow that second contact option attack from Chase Budinger. On the other side, it was, hey, we're going to serve short. We're going to test them a little bit, test those legs, and see if we can get them and see if that third set in the semis really affects them or not, because Coach Dan said, if you serve me short after a long match like that and a long day, I would be cursing you. So that's the plan.
Yeah, you make a great point. Just adding in the amount of play for each of these teams over the course of a weekend. And all of a sudden, the deep sand, the multiple matches, it's testing your stamina as well as your physicality.
I want to know if Coach Dan's going to curse me in English or Portuguese.
Fair point. Strong strike from Seabud.
Yeah, heavy heat deep to the corner. Interesting to watch how impactful Phil can be at the net. We've seen Chase take over matches with his block, and we know historically that is a calling card of Phil as well.
These two teams tied at 1 apiece in terms of series head-to-head. And actually, that loss on the side of Phil and Trevor coming in this tournament. On the winner's side of the bracket, it was 3 straight wins for Trevor and Phil until they met. Budinger and Evans took the 3-set loss, 9-15 in the third, before working their way back through the contenders bracket. Quick snap to the sideline.
That is crisp from Miles Evans. Well done keeping that ball in front of him, giving himself all the options, snapping it off clean.
For the #1 seed, they have played relatively clean, picking up win after win. Find themselves here in the final, more of an expedited path. High contact point. He brings out the fist. Hulk smash. for Seabud.
And that is one of those ones, again, that ball going to end up on the Crabb and Dalhausser side of the net, but as long as Chase picks it off while it's still even just a sliver of the ball on his side of the net, it is fair play. Well done, Evans Budinger.
Budinger enters this match hitting over 600 on the weekend. 657 is actually the mark. Short serve here for Trevor Crabb. Patty cake, patty cake. Baker's no man.
No men there to retrieve that one on the side of Budinger Evans. Really nice short serve. Well played by Phil and Trevor.
Best servers in the world. Phil Dalhausser tries to find the high contact point there on the block. It's almost as if at times he's climbing, reaching with those arms, trying to stay in the air that much longer.
Yeah, he does seem at times to have kind of that second kick that propels him upwards.
Because 6'9" wasn't tall enough. Phil's gonna get a look. A light trickle off the block.
Yeah, we talk about the educated nature of the crowd here, but there is a little bit of buffoonery that goes along with that at times from some of the fans of one team or another.
See some Palm Beach Passion jerseys in the stands. They've become accustomed to that block of Phil Dalhausser as Trevor Crabb saves his partner.
Lingering look on that kill from Trevor Crabb, and what a great sprawl dig that was to keep it alive on his side of the net. And there's the look. That move, extremely difficult to be moving laterally and then kind of cut it off, dive forward. Beautifully executed by the four-time champ.
How in the world did he get there? Picked up his first Manhattan Beach title alongside Reed Pretty. Probably one of my favorite stories in the past 10 years with the AVP.
Yeah, not very long after Reed Pretty squaring off against Trevor Crabb in a match and telling him during that match to lose my phone number. Conceivably, he kept it, and that's how he made the call to partner up.
The definition of frenemies. Cut shot from Phil.
Yeah, good recovery. Really nice serve from Chase and Miles. Caused some confusion, but good side out. Phil and Trev.
Trevor, of course, went on to win back-to-back titles alongside Triborn in 21 and 22. And he was also last year's champion alongside Theo Brunner, who they made the final even in 23, but walked away with a second place.
That is out of bounds long, 9-6.
Yeah, that's another thing to keep an eye on. Kind of throughout the weekend, that's been an element of Phil's game that's been frustrating him a little bit. Just sort of the lack of precision that he's unaccustomed to. We're unaccustomed to watching him from the service line. And he was better in the semis, and that was a big part of their victory there over the Taylors.
Rich's scouting report, so tracking the service ace error margin for Phil Dalhausser. How about the blocks? Because he's already had a few. Good touches to this point. That's a high shot into the angle. Too easy for Trevor. Finds the lefty loosey. Some light work. Chase Budinger.
Yeah, that is a missed opportunity there for Trev and Phil. Doing the right stuff. Just got that first contact a little bit too tight, I think. Phil didn't have quite the range he would have liked to have had.
Deep look and a heavy seam for Trevor Crabb.
That is a fantastic swing. One of his go-tos, that hard swing right up the middle, a la Jake Gibb Been following the AVP for any length of time. Kind of made a career off that middle swing.
There's the option. Kevin talked about it. Explain why it's so monstrous.
Well, I mean, you see Phil isn't able to get all the way up to the net by the time Chase is attacking it. So Trevor's basically left alone on defense, and the wildly athletic Chase Budinger can kind of do as he pleases, head and shoulders above the tape of the net there and swinging away. Credit the ball control from Miles Evans, too, and that's another reason to kind of pay attention to the serving. If the serve's too easy, Miles is going to have a relatively easy time controlling that up to Big Chase.
Miles sends that one back cross court, and he loves to add a little side spin on it as he tries to find the dig there.
Tremendous bump set from Phil, going almost underneath the net, but giving some good push and some good tempo to that set. Trevor stays in rhythm.
You know, oftentimes we talk about these athletes as if they're characters, right? Maybe they have a great serving skill or setting skill, or maybe they're one of the best attackers. When you look at Phil, every single one of his categories is to the top, to the elite level, and including the set as he dials one up. But it's Chase Budinger with the rejection.
Yeah, there again, that's kind of back-to-back missed scoring chances for Crabb and Dalhausser, right? We saw the one get a little tight on Phil, and then that one shut down resoundingly by Chase Budinger with the stuff. Yeah, I like that, Cam. Phil's like the Madden cheat code, right? Where all the attributes are at 10 plus.
He's graded out at a 99, no matter what. He picks up this number 8. He might be at the solid 100. Let's check in with Trevor Crabb on playing alongside Phil.
We met him for the first time at Huntington Beach.
It's pretty awesome, and just being able to play with him and getting a chance to learn a little more from him has been a great experience overall. And obviously this will be his last Manhattan Beach tournament, and if we can go out with a win, it'd be the perfect ending, I think. So we're hoping to do that.
Yeah, that's some great words there from Trevor Crabb. You know, Phil's talked about loving the reignition of the competitive fire that Trevor's brought to him. But I'm guessing that Trevor's getting more out of the partnership his way, right? Because he's playing with the greatest to ever do it.
It's been fun just to hear how each one of them has kind of reinvigorated different parts of their career. For Phil in this final year, living on a prayer right now, more like living on a dream, are Phil and Trevor here in the Manhattan Beach final. And it's funny too, because Phil has said like he needed somebody that had the right amount of positivity, but not too much so that it would annoy him. And I feel like that's the perfect person in Trevor Crabb. I'm hoping this is not Kevin Barnett we're hearing on the mic right now, but let's see if we can get him here. Kevin, how's it going?
I would sound much worse than that. Anyway, Cam, what I have for you, in fact, is a weather report. The wind, you can see if you shoot the flags across the stadium, it looks like a westerly breeze. But down here, the wind is moving around substantially. So the side that Phil and Trevor are on right now, they are with the wind at their back. So right now, Chase is serving more or less into the wind inside the stadium. I went around the entire interior. The wind is almost non-existent right at Chase's location. But where Phil is, it's pretty steady behind his back.
That's great insight in terms of the weather report as here comes Miles Evans as he scoops one. Trevor Crabb, wind at his back, sends one back down the line. It's going to be a free ball opportunity. Trevor looking for the sand, and he finds it.
An important side out there for Phil and Trevor. Really making it tough. Are Chase and Miles just touching a lot of balls defensively, both on the block and in the back court. Kevin doubling as Al Roker today, giving us weather updates, sand depth updates. A full service broadcaster.
Tight ball.
Oh my goodness. The escape artist on that play, Miles Evans, and also credit Chase for somehow getting that up in the air and not going into the net.
When in doubt, go deep middle. Teach it at the early stages of the game, and look, still works even at the professional level.
Well, there's a reason that is an expression. Phil and Trevor have created a couple scoring opportunities, haven't been able to capitalize. They're going to need to here as we get to the latter part of this first set.
Distance, here's some spread offense, and that's one of the unique elements to their offense.
Well, you have to, pay attention to Chase going on 2, and then they can zip it all the way out to the opposite side of the court, as you see there. Miles just in rhythm, tempo set, and Phil just ends up chasing.
Phil Dalhausser. Man, I just want to see them test him constantly in the side out just to put on a show for us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to watch him side out because he just comes up with angles that you don't see almost ever, unless he's creating them, I suppose.
The inventor of the protractor?
Yeah. Ooh, that one finds the baseline.
Perfectly placed from Phil Dalhausser. He gets the mini laser gun sound effect from DJ Rouchet.
Yeah, I like that one. And there was another good look at it bouncing the end line.
Just the first ace here in set number 1. Option. Nobody home. Chase Budinger stealing it.
Yeah, that is fantastic aggressiveness from Chase Budinger, because that ball was not higher than the net for very long. But he went in very proactive, took a good cut at that before Phil could get up there and be a factor in the play.
You can see how demonstrative that option play can be. Requires the right contact from Miles Evans. Phil continuing to steal away the middle. And why wouldn't you?
Yeah, especially with Miles kind of serving from that 5 corner, if you like your indoor court zones, the left side of the court.
Dalhausser 6 of 8, hitting .750. This one is looking like it's trouble. Somehow it's rescued. Double down defense. Phil finds one in the backcourt. Another ridiculous angle from the protractor himself.
Where do we start there, Cam? I mean, is it the lefty knuckle perfect set on just the reaction play after the dig? Is it some great defensive work as well from Miles and Chase to keep it alive? Or is it the dig and this put away for the point from Phil Dalhausser? It was all great stuff. And we are level on 15.
A perfect point to level the score. A 4-1 run now for Crabb and Dalhausser. Fake the option. And that's a Yahtzee if I've ever seen one.
And the throngs of Miles Evans fans love it. The whole crowd loves it when there's a wide open net and high jumping athletic attackers waiting for that wide open net.
It's like hitting warm-ups before the match even starts.
Yeah.
Some of the best action you'll see. It's a bounce off.
The same number of points as a baby line shot, but somehow much more exciting.
Way more fun. Right back out is Trevor Crabb. We saw him in the semifinal. A little dicey when those moments got real tight. He had one moment that his platform just somehow managed to shift on him. But one of the steadiest players in the AVP is coming up big right now in this tight first set.
Yeah, it feels like we've settled into this battle here. Really good start from Budinger Evans, but kind of the bounce back from Phil. A little hybrid there.
Flattens that one out. Some deception on the attack of Evans.
Yeah, indeed, he kind of touches his right pec. Keep an eye on that. Hopefully that's not hindering him at all. I saw him doing that in warm-ups also, kind of that insert into the shoulder. You wonder if there's some tightness there. You never know. Sometimes, you know, you reach down and grab your breakfast burrito as a 45-year-old and you strain stuff. So.
Last time those two met underneath the net, it had a different result.
18-16.
That one wholly unintentional, though, this time. Good serve from Miles Evans. Induces the overpass.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen Trevor Crabb apologize. He threw out the hand saying, sorry, see, bud.
I mean, that is up there. Yeah, that, I believe that's 18-17. Our scoreboard there just a little behind. It's 17 for Crabb Dalhausser, 18 for Budinger Evans on the side change. 10 attempts, 8 kills. That's pretty good if you're Philly.
Yeah, you could say that again. And by the way, 0 errors.
0 errors, yeah.
The math nerds out there, that one's pretty easy. 800 for Phil. Changes up the blocking timing there for Phil Dalhausser. He shows, man, he wishes he had changed that.
Well, that was a good response from Miles Evans. Phil kind of going up high, getting beat on some of those higher line shots towards the line. So I like the adjustment there, but then Miles also made a nice adjustment to kind of dart one low, sneaks it in between Phil's arms and the net.
Chase Budinger looking to get his name on the pier for the very first time. He's played for 2 titles here in Manhattan Beach.
Oh boy.
I wasn't able to pick him up. You're saying, oh boy, what are you seeing?
Yeah, just Phil, something's off with the arm, I think. A little bit. It doesn't look like it from the results we're seeing him put out there, and we have seen him a little bit hobbled in the league and still hit 900, but kind of watch him bend that right arm and hold it tight to the body a little bit.
Yeah, there's a look at it. You make a good point.
Nice work by our camera crew. Dialing right in on that.
What can the wave of adrenaline counteract? Will they test that right arm? It looks steady. There it is. It is a 2-foot swing into the sand. I don't know if that sand has ever been touched by a ball.
Yeah, that's a good heads-up play from Miles Evans. Staying ready throughout the entirety of that play.
Timeout called, and Miles, a little showmanship, testing out his sky ball in the midst.
Walk-off, yeah, maybe the best sky ball he's ever hit.
It's easier when it's not in competition.
We'll take a team timeout.
Timeout on the sand. Friday, the NASCAR Xfinity Series roars into the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. High speeds, tight packs, and no margin for error. It's the ultimate showdown before the playoffs. Don't miss a second of the action. The NASCAR Xfinity Series from Daytona, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on the CW. From fast bowls to fast cars to fast volleyballs, you got it all right here on the CW. The men's final now at set point in the first. Phil Dalhausser managing what seems to be an apparent issue with his right shoulder. You hate to see that as he's looking for his 8th title alongside Miles Evans, who already has double-digit kills here in the first set. Chase Budinger and Miles Evans hitting 640 as a pairing, 542 on the other side of the net.
Yeah, I mean, those are some really good offensive numbers. I'm not seeing a tremendous amount of defensive play out here as of yet, but just a really steady performance from Budinger Evans. And as is often the case, 1 or 2 plays here and there, and that can be the difference.
Big moment here for Trevor Crabb as he fights off the first set point.
Not surprisingly able to wiggle a line shot past the block of Budinger, but one side out will do it here in the first to Chase and Miles.
You're trying to find defense. The target has been against Miles Evans. Where do you set up the block?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Phil, I think you just have to lock down that line, maybe trust your guy into the cross court.
That's exactly what Phil does. Into the cross court, he's got it. Here comes Trevor for the tie. No good. Set 1 to Budinger and Evans. Block number 4 for Chase Budinger.
Yeah, I think that is kind of the chess game that's constantly going on out there. We know how much Trevor likes the line. So is he thinking, Chase knows I like the line's going to be closed, I'm going to go into the angle for the tie here? And Chase goes, no, I know he knows I know he likes the line, and I'm going to go into the angle. In any event, Chase coming up with a great move to close that first one out.
Anytime you feel like tempo out to that line, Miles running tempo, if it's fast out to that line, he almost always goes line. So just break to the line. Because you're going to be a hair slow chasing him out there because he's got to hold on Chase. You know what I mean? So if you see tempo going out that way, just break to the line because then he might change it back into him. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I want you to cheat. The other times when it's up and down, hold, and then maybe take a set from the line, but just settle right back, and you're going to get a cut right back to you.
We're having our chances.
Yeah.
Over Miles. He had some good side outs, but
I mean, like shit, you had that block and it stays right on top of the net for him to hit on 2. Like, there's some. Weather the storm, right? All the pressure's on them now, right? They've never done this before, right? We can play with nothing to lose here, right? We can play loose and relax. Push a little bit.
I'll look into the other huddle for Chase Budinger and Miles Evans. I mean, that's one way to end a set. You talk about some of that internal dialogue that's going on in the midst of those really tight moments at the conclusion of each one of these sets. You see some fun out on stadium court, but how do you kind of reset that mentality if you're Phil Dalhausser and Trevor Crabb being that close?
Yeah, well, I think we heard a little snippet of Trevor alluding to the fact that they created some opportunities that they just didn't capitalize on. That very last play would be one of those. There was another one kind of midway through the second set on back-to-back plays, as a matter of fact, where they had scoring chances and were unable to convert them. So in this second set, they're going to need to do the same things as far as creating the opportunities, but then be a little bit better in execution of the conversion.
A look to the numbers from set 1, just a 2-point differential, 615 and 500. But my goodness, the blocks, 3 blocks in total for Chase Budinger in set number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And the most important of those on the final play of that first set. Not a lot of mistakes either way in that match. And so that is why it was at such a high level. I mean, again, it's a discrepancy thing hitting efficiency-wise, because 500 is a great clip for Trevor and Phil, but not when your opponents are hitting 615.
Chase Budinger has had a chance to play for 2 titles here in Manhattan Beach, but it's been a few years. Those last ones came back in 2019 as well as 2021 when he was paired up alongside Casey Patterson. The victor on the other side of the net in 2019, Trevor Crabb and Reed Pretty. In 21, Trevor Crabb and Tri-Bourne. This time he's got Phil Dalhausser and Trevor Crabb on the other side. Could this be the difference maker?
Oh, little pump fake there from Chase Budinger. That was beautiful. First of all, the handset on 1 for Miles Evans, fantastic, and just kind of one of the evolutions of the modern game that we're seeing. But then Chase gave it a pump fake like he was going to set, just knocked it over at the last minute. That was fantastic.
You should know a thing or two about a pump fake. Takes the power off, just keeps it in. Trevor Crabb at the net. We've seen him split block, but Phil can't chase down the high line.
Not this time, so really nice start from Budinger. Evans going after Phil a little bit. Maybe more accurately going hard after the middle, but kind of to Phil's side of it.
2-0 start for Budinger and Evans. Budinger has played in some pretty big arenas. This one's right up in the mix with some of the best. A look back, here's Phil Dalhausser getting down, getting back up again, watching that right shoulder. Even if it's hurting him, I don't know if he's really going to show it that much here.
No, I mean, you don't get to the heights he's gotten to without having to grind through a few bumps and bruises.
It is truly amazing too. 45 years old and playing at this level.
Yeah, I don't know how Chase came up with that angle, kind of his arm moving left and somehow the ball going with some pace, sharp right.
Nice high lift off the first contact. Can Phil shoot his way to victory here?
I would say yes. I think Phil can do anything he wants to on a volleyball court. What Miles and Chase need to continue to do is make him move a little bit in service reception. That ball was kind of right in his lap, and that becomes a little bit of an easy side out for the big man.
Serve middle. Negates the option, but you still got to deal with the force of Miles Evans.
Now that is a really nice aggressive swing from Miles. Can't afford, especially from the middle of the court where Phil can be a little bit more impactful, to be tentative in any way, and Miles was not.
Manhattan Beach locked and loaded here in set number 2. Short serve, Trevor. Big block in front. This has to turn. Gets a piece of it when defense becomes the perfect second contact.
Yeah, absolutely. Miles doing an unbelievable control job on that contact. Full sprint to the line, and then he's got to put it on a platter for Chase, which he does. Again, we talked about Chase kind of leading the way and everyone else following along. Those big transition blocks, particularly the one that closed out set number 1, lifting their collective level.
Big reach and another slight wince from Phil. Anytime he starts to put a little bit of pressure on that shoulder and that right side, man, he's hurting.
He's generally pretty stoic, so even to see hints of it on his face, you know, there must be some pain going on there.
In 8 years of watching him play, I've never seen him deal with something like this.
And now Chase and Miles wiggling their way out of every kind of less than perfect situation.
Crabb and Dalhausser have to find this second set, now trailing by 3. High set, and a little bit of a jumbo look.
Yeah, that was just kind of a flat corner shot, but that was beautifully executed. Kind of high through the top regions of the Chase Budinger block, which is no easy task in and of itself.
How much does that right shoulder affect his serve?
I would think it affects everything you do. He's going to continue to grind.
Unique tosses and serving rhythms from Phil Dalhausser from left to right as that's back into the angle.
And Chase finds a hard angle deep.
Chase Budinger out of Southern California, grew up in Encinitas down in San Diego. Played indoor volleyball and learned to play beach alongside some of the local pros at Moonlight Beach, one of the best beaches in northern San Diego. Playing on the big court, a little different.
Yeah, if you like old school volleyball, Moonlight Beach is one of the best, without a doubt.
Yeah, just move these sidelines out a few extra feet.
Yeah.
You're playing side out.
Grainy sand down there.
Fakes the set. There's that spread tempo. And Kevin Barnett, what you got?
Yeah, watching Phil down here, Cameron, you can see him every so often. He'll just go up to that kind of pec delt area and kind of dig into that space. So whatever's wrong, it's definitely affecting him. You're not letting the crowd see it or the opponents that often, but it is on his face and definitely in the front of that right arm.
Rich, you've talked about how he's dealt with a calf injury. He's currently taped up in that regard. But this is something new for Phil. We have yet to see. Cut shot. Easy rescue. Here comes Evans.
Oh, boy. That was the right choice. It was open if Trevor was clean with that contact, but unfortunately for him and for Phil, he was not.
We saw a spiked set earlier today, and we almost just saw a spiking of a spike.
Correct, and that's, you know, kind of an unusual position for both of these guys, Trevor and Phil, with that feeling like they've got to press a little bit. They're starting to get in a bigger and bigger hole. Miles and Chase, everything rolling smoothly for them. They're playing great defensively, offensively.
Short call. They continue to look to Phil Dalhausser. I mean, why would they go anywhere else at this point, recognizing what's on the other side of the net? He's still hitting 765 with 0 errors, but
yeah, he's not making mistakes, but it is interesting.
How do you decide at this point?
That's kind of the natural inclination if you see somebody a little bit hobbled to go after them, but that is why it's so difficult to sometimes play against injured players, because they're playing with kind of a built-in get out of jail free card, and you're focused a little too much on that. Ooh, that does catch the back line.
Miles Evans' favorite play. It's not even about him lighting it up. It's about setting up his partner.
Yeah, that is a tremendous pass.
He said the harder the serve, the better the highlight.
That is true. A timeout taken here. I don't know if we're, yeah, it's a medical timeout, so Phil is going to get that pec looked at, see if it can't get loosened up. And a smart time to do it here. You don't want to get in a hole so deep that you can't dig your way out of it potentially.
It's going to be tended to by our medical staff here. Again, checking out that right shoulder. That is his hitting arm.
Yeah, it's interesting because it almost seems to be affecting him more on the non-hitting motions. He's hitting so well, he's siding out, and the swing looks smooth, but sometimes when he's blocking, he's coming down and kind of retracting that arm. We saw him go for some short balls defensively and kind of come up a little bit lame, for lack of a better way of saying it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I wonder what's going on there, where your swing, which you would think would be the most impactful on your shoulder, seems to be fine, but it's every other little motion.
We've seen him attack, we've seen him serve, we've seen him block, but really, to your point, it's been more on the defensive side that it's been the struggle. Here's Chase Budinger, Miles Evans. Some of the numbers now on screen, both into double-digit territory from the attacking phase, as they are hitting 676 as a team. And here in the second set, it has climbed to 818.
Well, yeah, the critical number on our graphic there was 0 hitting errors as a team. So if you keep racking up attempts, racking up kills, and never giving anything away free, you're going to hit at a high clip, and you are going to put an immense amount of pressure on your opponents, and that is what they are doing here with a 4-point advantage kind of midway through the second set.
But, man, this is a very brutal moment if you're thinking about Phil Dalhausser right now. He's trying to chase down Karch Karai and find that magical 8th Manhattan Beach title. You've played 20+ years. You've gotten to this moment. You fought through the Manhattan Beach Open, and all of a sudden something comes up like this.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, probably every athlete at one point or another has dealt with untimely physical situations that are less than ideal. Like we said, over the course of Phil's career, he's no doubt dealt with similar things, been kind of in every scenario you might want to imagine or dream up. So I have no doubt they'll find a way to battle through this, but you know, against a team that's playing at the clip that Miles and Chase are playing at right now, you need to be at your best.
You get a chance to see this gentleman play in 2 weeks' time once more at the championships in Chicago for the Palm Beach Passion alongside Trevor Crabb. So let's take a look at that bracket. At Oak Street Beach, you can find the Pairs Championship for league play. Trevor Crabb and Phil Dalhausser in with a #2 seed, earning themselves a bye through the first round. Taylor Crabb, Taylor Sander. We could see, what, another crab boil? I know everyone loves it as they'll face off against Schulk and Shaw. It's a 3 versus 6. The 4 and 5, Budinger and Evans also booked their ticket as they snuck their way in for the San Diego Smash. Again, the champions of 2024 league play. And Smith and Weber, the #4 seed, and probably one of the biggest surprises into this year on the men's side.
Yeah, absolutely. Crab boil in the semi again. I think everyone wants to see it, outside of perhaps Kame Schulk and Jim Shaw and their team.
This medical timeout is actually 5 minutes in duration. We're just about a minute to go at the conclusion of that. Time to check out Phil Dalhausser and give him a little bit of work here as they trail 6-10 here in the second set after dropping the first. Manhattan Beach has come out just at the end of the Manhattan Beach Pier. Look back to Try Bourne as he's back on the sand, the 2-time Manhattan Beach Open champion.
Yeah, he sent him up in a variety of ways out there. He had the side knuckle serve. He had the big chuck all the way to the grandstands on the pier. Putting on a show for the fans. Yeah, you know, another potential benefit of this medical timeout is we talked about how well Chase and Miles are rolling. It interrupts their kind of rhythm, right? They've got to stop and restart. You guys, meaning Phil and Trevor, aren't kind of playing at the top of their game, so there's nothing lost on your side.
Yeah, no, you make a really great point. How can you slow the momentum? Well, this is not just a timeout, it's a 5-minute break. You're gonna cool the jets of the other team. So the big question is, what's the mindset? What's the mentality? How do these two manage? That's Chase Budinger and Miles Evans get back on the sand as Phil Dalhausser also takes the slow walk back onto the sand.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're chasing Miles, you don't need to change anything. You just need to continue to remind yourself to get back to business as you've been conducting it.
Miles Evans looking for his first major title in the AVP.
Medical timeout successful.
What was that you were saying? I think that is the definition of icing the server.
Yeah, right. The full 5-minute ice.
It's about as much time as I spent in the cold plunge.
Really? That's pretty extensive, though, isn't it?
I mean, once you get past the first minute or so.
Once the body's fully numb.
Back out trying to climb the ladder is Phil Dalhausser. And another straight shot. Miles Evans back to the service line.
Everything working for Miles right now offensively. Phil with a good read that the shot was coming, tried to go up and paw at it, but just missed with the right hand.
Phil, it hasn't been the arm that's been the problem on the swing. That time he does come down a little bit gingerly. How tough can that man be in a moment like this? Short serve. That's not good. Somehow Chase Budinger gets it back out of the net. Phil has room down the line. No, he doesn't. Taken away, Miles Evans. The line dagger, that line's still bouncing.
There it is. You feel like they're just maybe one more of those away from flipping the momentum here in this second set. But Miles and Chase continue to touch a lot of balls and make those opportunities so difficult on Crabb and Dalhausser.
(3-1) since that medical timeout. A little help from the net for Chase Budinger. That's a tough one. Optioning back towards the line.
Yeah, that's a swing he likes across his body. But he did get a great deal of help from the net band there.
And we've got plenty of balls left to throw out.
Into the technical timeout. We already had the medical, and now a little extra time to cool off that of Budinger and Evans, unless they have anything to say about it. This Tuesday on NXT, Chelsea Green makes her return to NXT, and it's Trick Williams versus Javon Evans, with the winner becoming the #1 contender for the NXT Championship. Don't miss an all-new WWE NXT Tuesday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on the CW. Who's going to come off the top rope in this second set? Give him the chair. Give him the medical, more or less.
You do have to warm up the elbow, right?
Yeah.
You gotta get.
Let's listen in now to Phil and Trevor.
Next time we're going to smash. Let's leave it all out there, guys. Hey, just hold a hair longer, right?
15 kills on 20 attempts, and dealing with some shoulder issue in the same vein.
Yeah, he's slipped to 750 with the banged up wing. Yeah.
Most dream of hitting that mark.
Right, still out there grinding, but they're going to need to find a little something here halfway through set number 2, and it's a 3-point lead for Budinger Evans with a set in the bank.
He goes right back to the option. How about you just expedite some of these points?
Yeah, I like it.
Kevin Barnett, you have some thoughts on this one.
I just talked to Coach Dan for Chase and Miles, and I said, how's the balance between serving Phil and going after the medical versus playing your own game? And he said, look, I just told him, stop serving Phil. Go after Trevor. He's still Phil Dalhausser. He can still do Phil things. So get back to doing the things that have gotten us to this point. And he said, listen, now is the time to step on the gas. We have to get away in this set now.
So you make a great point. So they're going to change it up, go away from Phil, and see if Trevor Crabb can make up the difference. You saw the nice highlight there from Miles Evans. Another jump set from C-Bud, opening up a window. Or I guess more like a door in that case. Looks down. The double block rarely works.
Yeah, again, Miles is getting such good timing on those runs to the line. Chase doing a nice job touching the line shot attempts from Trevor Crabb, and then Miles doing a great job putting them up in a perfect hittable position for Budinger to kill it.
Fights that one off the sideline. It's the way sometimes Phil just hangs on to those sets. Whether it's with his platform or his hand, it's always guiding the ball to the perfect location.
Yeah, just keeping his hitter in rhythm.
Oftentimes people joke about the number of times Phil will have a fall down set or a fall away finisher. That's how locked in he is on delivering the perfect ball. Another big time swing from the right side. You know it's heavy when even the platform digging it sounds off.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is just a wonderful performance right now from Miles Evans and Chase Budinger, but looking for his first victory. Miles really showing up here in the finals thus far.
You could hear it there, even on the replay. Good pull by our squad. Tight ball. He got there first.
Now, you talked about it. Even with the platform, Phil manages to keep Trevor in that good hittable zone. And that was a tremendous falling bump set. And you feel like Trevor and Phil need to get to 15-13 here at least. 16-12 starts to feel a little out of reach.
Time starting to slip away for Crabb and Dalhausser. Blocks outside of his range. And it's time for Phil Dalhausser, earning just his first block in this match.
What a time for it. And that was a great bait. Outside wide, then just kind of bodied up Chase. Showed a little bit that the line was open and then took it away right at the last minute. Gets it to fall deep.
Trying to slow the sands of time here. Crabb and Dalhausser. High set, big on big. And right to the corner.
That's a tremendous set from Miles Evans. He's got those kind of uniquely high hands. Just pushes that beautifully up to the net. Budinger smooth to the line side corner.
Changed it up and gone the direction of Trevor Crabb. This time it's right back to Phil tight. Muscle down. Crabb slaps it to the line. He's got to retreat back to defense. And just simply not enough speed.
How about the control of the overhand retreating dig from Chase Budinger? Absorbs that and almost softens it so that Miles has plenty of time to sneak in there and give him a perfect set.
At 17-13, timeout called for Dalhausser and Crabb. This one, just a regular timeout. Some numbers now for Chase Budinger. 4 total blocks, 15 kills. I mean, that's exactly what you want somebody up at the net to be able to put together.
Yeah, and those 3 control blocks also playing a factor because, you know, he's touching those balls. Miles running them down.
I think you're going to crack. I mean, he'll have left angle to hit into. You know what I mean? If he dispatches past center and he's getting that set's getting pulled to the middle. I mean, he might do a little loop, but he's running out of course.
Flying balls all over the place. Come on, baby. This is the Manhattan Beach Open.
Looking for thunder and lightning here to strike on the sands of Manhattan Beach. Hardly any errors in this match. Budinger and Evans just 1 combined hitting error on their side of the net. Phil Dalhausser still flawless, 16 of 21. 762 in what will be his final Manhattan Beach Open.
Yeah, it is nearing the end here if they can't find a way to side out and come up with a couple of stops defensively. Because Miles and Chase have been next to untouchable.
Notably, Miles Evans, 3 deep breaths before this serve. And it's a doozy. They know it's nearing.
Phil's first error comes at an unfortunate time for his squad. But you have to credit that serve from Miles Evans. He has just kind of found another level here in this final.
It is interesting to watch some of the breath work for Miles Evans. Actually a focal point for this team. They've talked about it heading into Paris, taking 5 extra minutes just before they get out on the sand to focus on their breathing. And right now you got to manage it as you're about to pick up maybe one of the biggest win, if not the biggest win in your career. Chase Budinger from the top deck, and man, I'm gonna miss watching this man go to work, especially at the net.
Yeah, that is fantastic stuff. A couple blocks now in succession when they've gone to Budinger. Interesting. They're going to call a timeout right away.
This will be our final one.
I don't mind it. You feel the momentum starting to slip. The energy starting to shift back the direction. As everyone in Manhattan Beach knows what's at stake for Phil and Trevor.
Absolutely. Yeah, I guess you don't want to let one turn into two and then let the momentum train get rolling for Trevor and Phil.
This is fairy tale opportunity. You know what I mean? This is legendary stuff right here. It's an opportunity, right?
Probably yes on that. You say yes on that? That's not true? I see. We'll find out.
Taylor Crabb, a part of the semifinals. Heading into this final, took the loss to his brother. And now he currently sits and watches and cheers. It's funny how all of a sudden it turns that quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you know, if you have a friend that you heckle a lot, you know, you heckle them, but if anyone else does, you're right there getting their back. That's kind of how the brothers operate. Brother Trevor's going to have to come up with something big here. You heard their coach, Matt Heath, say this is legendary stuff, and they're going to need something legendary.
Budinger and Evans, all they need to do is side out to find the win. Phil and Trevor have to come up with some defensive magic. Interesting, they go to Chase Budinger, who just carves it up, slicing and dicing.
Yeah, that's the correct choice, though, right? Phil just got the stuff, so you got to go back there, even after the timeout. And you've gotten him on 2 of his last 3 swings. Now 2 points away, though, are Chase and Miles.
And right back to the sand, another block. Chase Budinger.
Unbelievable. I mean, Chase, think back to the final play of the first set and how pivotal that block was.
That 5th block from Chase Budinger bringing us to championship point. To put their names on the pier. Chase Budinger, Miles Evans. Option coming. And Phil Dalhausser's not done swinging.
No, he is not, but they're going to need to come up with something Herculean here. Just one side out is all it's going to take for Miles Evans to get his first win and simultaneously his name on the pier in Manhattan Beach.
Championship point number 2. Chase Budinger looks to the sand and he's got it. Welcome to the winner's circle. You're officially Manhattan Beach Open champs. Miles Evans and Chase Budinger. A straight set victory. As the celebration is only just beginning here in Manhattan Beach.
Yeah, you see some crew members there with the Olympic garb on from last summer.
Miles Evans' first major title in the AVP. And it's getting a bronze plaque on the pier.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like winning your first golf tournament and it's the Masters or something. You know, it's unbelievable stuff. And how great did he play throughout the entirety of that final? He was fantastic. That's probably the best we've ever seen him in a match start to finish. And those are the kind of efforts it takes to get into the winner's circle. So congratulations to him and Chase Budinger.
A look to Miles Evans as he celebrates alongside Manhattan Beach finest. And now hugs to the entire Budinger family and crew. From Paris last summer to the pier in 2025. Time to spray some champagne for Chase Budinger. and Miles Evans.
And the little man has to evacuate there before the showers start.
Shake it up and enjoy it, fellas. MBO champs for the first time. Chase and Miles. We'll get a chance to catch up with them on the other side of this break. The AVP and the Manhattan Beach Open is brought to you by Wilson, the official ball of the AVP. By Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Let the good times cruise. And by StubHub, the official ticketing partner of the AVP. Our champions have now been crowned on the women's side and the men's side. It's all about Chase Budinger and Miles Evans right here, just adjacent to the Manhattan Beach Pier. Let's check in now with our winners and Kevin Barnett.
Miles and Chase pushing for this one. Miles, I know you guys have been grinding for a while. What does this one mean?
Man, I've always wanted to be on this pier. It's a dream come true. Solidify a lot of the Evans, all the support, you know. Love it so much.
Chase, your blocking has risen a level this year, and it played a critical role again today. How have you advanced that skill?
Just a lot of hard work. I put in the time, and it's sometimes shows, so I'm happy about that.
All right. Miles, we talk about you traveling well. What do you want those folks to know?
Sorry, say it again?
They say you travel well. What do you want those folks that come out to see you, what do you want them to know?
I'm just so appreciative. They fire me up every time I play. They're always here, 8 a.m. I'm just so appreciative. I've got a great family. I've got great friends. These people are beautiful. I love them.
Love you guys. You guys are the best. The best fans for our team.
Yes, sir.
You guys are Manhattan Beach champions. Congratulations.
Kevin alluded to it. A beautiful journey for these two, picking up their first Manhattan Beach title. I'm sure there's more to come from C-Bud and Miles Evans. Don't forget, we've got more coming from the AVP Chicago Championships in just 2 weeks' time for the league. For myself, Kevin Irwin, Rich Lamborn, Kevin Barnett, our entire Echo Entertainment crew, and the AVP, thanks so much for joining us. So we can't wait to see you right back here on the sand.